me assume the position and hope this goes well. All right. You ready?
I was born ready.
I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo podcast.
Snow Nintendo podcast.
That's what I should have said. Episode 906, the Sprigatito podcast. MomBrain, will you tell us about Sprigatito, please?
You sure we didn't do Sprigatito? I feel like no, definitely not. I feel like we've. Sprigatito.
Sprigatito, please.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Its fluffy fur is similar in composition to plants. This Pokemon frequently washes its face to keep it from drying out. It's a foot tall. It's 9 pounds. It's a male or a female. The category is grass cat.
Mm-hmm. Like
moly.
marijuana. Meow-awana. Meow.
I think
I should have stayed with Meow-awana.
I think Piper has Meow-awana.
I bet she does.
We have a couple of different kinds of it.
I've seen her on the Wacky Tobacco.
The Devil's Lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have to sprinkle some on her scratching things because I vacuumed them today.
Tell us about Sprigatito, please.
Abilities include Overgrow. Powers up grass-type moves when the Pokemon's HP is low. And that's the end of the Pokemon section.
Thanks, MomBrain.
You're welcome.
When you say that's the end of the Pokemon section, you continue to stare at the phone every week like something's going to happen. I often wonder what you're looking at.
You know,
tell the truth. Are you peeking ahead?
No. I think that you study everything I do all the time.
You're my muse.
Really?
What? Oh, yeah, of course.
All right.
And you're the only one here.
Well.
First, a few things to get into right at the top of the show. First things first. My laptop, unfortunately, just 20 minutes ago or so, had the dreaded issue that it had over, I don't know, a month and a half ago. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. Long story short, I thought I fixed the issue. I had a month and a half of perfectly fine laptop. And now the issue reared its ugly head again, but it's, I don't know. It seems okay now. I know it's not okay. I'm going to do more.
Feeling so great.
Thanks, Josh. I'm going to look into it and see what was. I don't know. It's another week of trying to figure it out. Z Komodo says, "Is it the power issue? How did you fix it before?"
Does this music help you figure it out?
I see Fluffernutter saying, "What's happening to the stream? Is anybody else having problems with the stream? If you could let me know in the Discord, I'd appreciate it because it seems like it'll be par for the course today." I'm running my laptop in eco mode, so it's not stream is fine. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So it's not supposed to not stress out the laptop too much. So I didn't know if that
wouldn't it be nice if we had that?
We do. You just ignore outside stimulus and pretend it's not there.
Can I just tell you that my right eye has been twitching for well over a week?
Means the storm's coming.
Like it's almost like it almost hurts. You know, like
hi PC.
It's just
so yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, the show could crap out. 10 minutes from now, the show could be totally fine. The show could die 2 hours into it. I honestly don't know. So I'm apologizing in advance. I am frustrated by this issue. And, just yesterday, I was like, I had such a good week, one of the best weeks I've had in a long time. And then the universe was like, no. And I thought to myself, I know it doesn't really mean anything, but I thought to myself, I shouldn't say anything because it's been such a good week. I don't want to ruin it. And I said something, and here we are.
I mean, I still think it's a good week.
Well, I mean, sure, it doesn't undo the good that there was, but it's still like a big worry because I'm like, I don't want to spend another, I don't know, $1,500 on a laptop and have to go through setting up all that stuff. But who knows what'll happen. Just before we started the show, I emailed a local repairman, computer repairman,
repair person.
It said they were a repairman. So,
okay, all right.
They'll do a free consultation. So I emailed them, let them know the problem at great length. We'll see what happens. But like I've said, this laptop is 4 years old, 3+ years old. I would absolutely hate to have an issue where it's like, well, this is unsalvageable, or you got to spend like $800 to fix it. And I'm like,
You
well, at
should
that
invite them to
point,
the Discord.
it's the repair person.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But there's your first warning. I had another one. Oh yeah. Nicky Hill and Do Michaels are not here. They're both here for the same reason. Nicky Hill has a double reason. It is the first snowstorm of the tri-state area going on right now. How much snow are we gonna have? I don't know, because honestly, there's always the joke of weathermen don't know what's going to happen, and whatever they say, they're always wrong. And earlier this week, just a few days ago, I heard that there might be potential for a snowstorm, and the report was literally could be up to 12 inches, or it could be nothing at all, or it could be rain. So it was like, well, that's quite a wide range of predictions. So it is snowing right now. That's all I can tell you. So those two are staying home safe. They both have not insignificant drives over to the house, so it's better safe than sorry. And Nicky Hill is also feeling a bit under the weather, so a double weather whammy for Nicky Hill. So hopefully he feels better soon. But that's what's going on. So MomBrain and I, if you guys don't know, we live in the same house, so we're here. And I asked MomBrain if she was going to bow out of the show today, and she said no. So thanks for joining us, MomBrain.
The pleasure is mine entirely.
And of course, my friend from college days, and longtime friend and lifetime friend. I'm going to go out and say lifetime friend. Josh Grobot is here.
Very cool.
Very cool, Josh. How are you?
I'm feeling so great. Thanks for asking.
That's what we like to hear. Anything exciting going on, or just the usual hanging and banging?
I am the world's best
Oh,
singer.
yeah. Okay.
Hanging and banging.
Red Souza says, Nicky Hill, Kirby, and Do. No, we don't appreciate them as much as they deserve, so they skip shows, make us realize how much we love them. Well, there you
Moving
go.
on.
The truth has come out. Now they know. And of course, George is here. George, how are you doing this week?
I'm having the lime of my life.
Oh, really? Why is that? What are you up to? I'm glad to hear it.
Well, I really like snow because you can have a really fun lime out building snow limes.
As someone who snow limes.
Yes, and you can make margaritas. I know a song about that.
Oh, okay.
Give me one margarita.
All right. Oh, no, George, not that song. George, not that song.
So sorry. I want to be a singer like Josh sometimes.
Oh, well,
I'm
you.
the star of the show.
Oh boy, you two can work on that.
But I think I could do it.
I want to hear more. I didn't think you'd be into the snow. I don't see snow time as like a particularly fun.
Everyone loves a frosty margarita.
Do you have virgin margaritas?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Then I'm down. I'd love to have a frozen virgin margarita.
Hit me up after the show.
You got the best limes around, so I've never had a margarita.
Oh, you're in for a fine lime of it.
I'll meet you the after show, George. You and I will go out. And of course, hi to the chat. We have PC and Freddie Pro and Tent Division and Thrillmo and Fluffernutter and Highland Tom and Red Souza and Radical Defect and the Super Sanchez and Alternate Liz and what is going on in this bathroom, PC? Seems like there's a lot happening. Whoever else I didn't say hello to, thanks for joining us. I'll get you when you come in. Zikamudo, of course. Yes, we'll stop there. Thanks for joining us for like, hello, Solomon Link. Hello, William. Hello, Ipsters. Boy, oh boy, we got a who's who. That's how it works. Whenever there's technical hiccups, threatening the existence of the show. Mm-hmm. Then we get a bigger crowd than usual. Yep. Here, I'm going to say this, and then we're going to pivot to something else. We are doing trivia today.
Pivot.
Josh has allowed me to take on the trivia asking today, but Josh,
yes, I really did.
Josh will still be confirming your answers, so he will give you the old correct, incorrect. Hi, Solomon. Hi, Drake.
That is correct.
Two things. Number one, if you want to participate in trivia or have a chance to participate in trivia, please type in all capital letters in the Discord, I want to play trivia. Number two, if you've already played trivia, please hang back. But you type, I want to play trivia. You will be chosen at random. And we'll get into the rules of trivia once again later on. But there's some other things to talk about. Yes. I just want to give people a little bit of time to get in the Discord and say, I want to play trivia. And then we'll pick someone to play. I'm going to start doing weekly recaps on GoNintendo of what we've been talking about on Patreon. By the way, MomBrain, did you know that you can join the Patreon
For $1.
for $1, just $1? And, obviously I'm like, hey, here's the Patreon. You can join it for $1. You don't have to if you don't want to. Obviously, the dollar supports the site. It's great. You can give more if you want, but you certainly don't have to, and you get everything for that $1. I was gonna say, I know it's hard to talk about the Patreon without being like, here's this content you can get for $1, but I really have a fun time over on the Patreon page. There's a great group of people over there, a few of them in this chat right now. And every day I do a brand new post. So every day is me talking about something. Every once in a great while, there may be a video or TikTok or audio. I have plans for a new audio thing soon, actually, and things like that. But at the very least, every single day, there's a brand new post, and it's me talking about something. It could be a review, could be impressions. If it's a review, it's going to be about something that is not available on the Switch because I save reviews for regular GoNintendo. But I will talk about Switch related games and other posts that are just, thoughts about games or whatever. So I don't want anybody to think that if you're just following GoNintendo proper, I'm locking you from content that should be on GoNintendo. That's not the case. But I do talk about Switch games and Nintendo topics in general over there. But I talk about gaming in general. I talk about anime and wrestling and TV shows and movies and whatever. And I was like, I should start doing a weekly wrap up post on GoNintendo proper to let people know what they're going to be reading about or seeing or watching or hearing if they were to join the Patreon in the last week. And that $1 gets you access to absolutely everything we've ever done on
For
Patreon.
$1.
For $1. So, long-winded way of saying a recap every week, and I'll give you the recap of what I've talked about over the last week on Patreon. As I mentioned on the podcast, I'm now doing Letterboxd. So you can follow me on Letterboxd if you want. It's just letterboxd.com/rawmeatcowboy. I'll be adding my reviews of TV shows and movies there. My cousin just told me that Letterboxd is officially adding TV. I know there's TV shows on Letterboxd now, but they were supposed to be movie focused, but now they're going to be TV show and movie focused. So I'll certainly be doing more of that. So yeah, you can follow me there if you'd like. I also, one of the posts was about thanking Patreon people because they're there supporting me for $1, and some of them have been there for a very long time, literally since the beginning. So we talk about that and the Patreon's approach and growth and all that. Just a nice post for those people. I talked about my New Year's resolution, which I don't remember if I mentioned on the podcast or not. I believe I did.
I don't know that you did.
I believe I did. If somebody in the Discord can vouch for that, if I talked about it on the podcast. Hi, Lesip. Good to see you. Let me know because my memory is terrible. But my New Year's resolution, I've been doing New Year's resolutions for a few years now, and they've worked out great. My latest is I am reading books. My first time reading books for pleasure. I read comics. I read graphic novels. And do I count those as books? 1,000,000%. Does MomBrain count them as books? 1,000,000%. But, I'm sorry. Nicky Hill would be against that. 100%.
Right.
But I know there are people out there who are like, graphic novels don't count. Comic books don't count. Audiobooks don't count. All that kind of stupid garbage.
F you if you say something like that.
Well, all right. Your thoughts. So yeah,
I'm not even saying F you if you think it, because you can think those things. You're wrong.
If you say it, if you put it out into the world,
loud, F you.
If you speak it out. Yes, alternate Liz, I'm down for manga recommendations, definitely. But yeah, if you are engaging with books in any form, digital or print, or like I said, comics or manga or graphic novels, all that counts. But I have not read a traditional book, just print on the page, since my, I'm going to say middle school days. And it was only because I had to. And it's how school treated books that ruined books for me.
It does.
And I know I'm missing out on all kinds of fun stuff. And I know that's been the case for decades now. So my New Year's resolution was I'm going to start reading books. I already read one book and I'm reading another right now. So if you go to the standard elitist garbage says 10 division, that's right. Those people that say that. So if you go to the Patreon, you can see more about my New Year's resolution. And I don't know. I'll be sharing thoughts on books in general over on Patreon. I don't know if I'm going to call them reviews because I don't feel like I'm in a place to actually review books. I think I need to read a few more books before I could get to that spot. But if you go over to Patreon, you can see what I've been reading and all that good stuff. I also talked about the first game that I played and beat in 2024. So I'll be talking about that later today on the podcast. The game is Slay the Princess, which is only available on PC as far as I know. The personal computer, not the person.
Is the game fun?
Yes, the game is fun. I will talk about my experience later in the podcast, but if you're on the Patreon, you could have read a review for that game. Moving on from that, I had a post about Adventures of Lolo, the NES game. And I've talked about that before on the podcast, and I think I may have mentioned it before on Patreon as well. But what I was talking about is how did this game find its way into my life? Because, you know, when we were growing up, there's Contra and Super Mario Brothers and Mega Man and titles like that where, you know, many people played them, many people encountered them, many people knew them. Like somebody either owned it or you borrowed it from a friend or everybody rented it back in the day, but more or less people who had an NES knew about these games. Adventures of Lolo is one that I didn't know anybody who played it, who knew of it, who wanted it. And I was thinking, how did this game end up in my field of vision? How did it come across my NES and how did I end up playing it? Like, it's just such an odd situation. So I talk about that and talk about the game in general as well with other people. And that led me to a post the next day about the ritual of retro games. So more than just nostalgia. It's more about, sure, that I'm 40. What are we, 41, 42?
We're 41 and a half.
And there's nostalgia in games for the NES and the Game Boy and the Super Nintendo and the Genesis and things like that. There's certainly an element of nostalgia that's near and dear to our heart, but there's more to it. There's more to the ritual of older games that I really appreciate that we don't get nowadays. And I'm not saying gaming was better back in our day, and it used to be like this. Certainly, there were some ways that it was better. Certainly, there were ways that it was worse. But there's something about the ritual of old retro gaming, be it back in the day when it wasn't retro or now, that I really like. And I talk about what those elements are and how they make me feel. So that's your last week of posts on Patreon. I reply to every single comment as long as that comment comes in within 24 hours of the post. So my ritual on Patreon is when I log into Patreon, first I go to the post I did the day before. I look at every single comment and I reply to every single comment. So if you comment, I will reply to it. But after, I can't keep track of it, every day going forward after that. But I always make a point to get in for those people who are nice enough to comment or read and comment to reply. So that's been probably my favorite part of Patreon. It sounds so dumb that I'm like, what's fun? Replying to comments. But on Patreon, it's different than your internet at large because you're like,
I understand.
I understand. You're like, I know these people are here to support me. Like, they are good people. They're friendly. They're kind. They actually care about what I do. And we're going to have great conversations. Hi, Roth. And that's what it's been. It's just been a group of really great people having a lot of fun and talking about, hi, Vachi. Good to see you. It's just been a good time. It's just a nice place. It's, I guess you'd call it an internet safe space where you can have conversations with a whole group of people where everybody's on the same page, or even some of those people aren't, but they're not going to be mean or jerks about it. And sometimes that's so cool, Thromo. Sometimes you get people who don't know about this, that, or the other thing, and they become interested because of something I say, or they share something in the comments. Hi, do. They share something in the comments where I'm like, I didn't know about this thing, and I become passionate about it.
Do Michaels, we speak your name.
So there's the thing for Patreon. You're going to hear that. I'll do that every week on the podcast, but in much quicker form next time. I just had to explain it this time. So there you go. That's what's going on for $1 if you want to join over there. But again, you're not missing out on anything super. Oh, I shouldn't say that because I do. Extra, like I'm not locking content behind there that should be on GoNintendo, basically. And then the only other thing I want to say before we get into trivia is some of you who are very long-time GoNintendo readers know that I used to do what?
I think I should feed the cat before trivia.
Okay. Used to do an end-of-day thought, literally every weekday, or at least 4 out of 5 weekdays, I would write a post on GoNintendo about whatever. So that kind of stuff made it... No. That kind of idea lives on through Patreon, although with a much expanded look at all different things, not just Nintendo related content. But this year, I also made another mini resolution to get back to doing at least one original piece for GoNintendo every single week. There's going to be weeks where I do more, certainly. And I want to be clear that weeks with a review from me or a preview from me, that certainly counts. But there's going to be weeks where I don't have any of those things. So I'll be doing just a fully original content on any number of Nintendo related topics. So just this week, I did one on visual novels in general, because I've been talking about visual novels a lot. And I really love visual novels. So I had a reason to wax poetic about them a bit, and I put it together in a feature. So if you read that, thank you. If you didn't, no big deal, but it's out there. So every week, yes, I'll have something featured on the front page of GoNintendo, some sort of preview, review, thought piece, whatever. So getting back a little bit to the old end-of-day thoughts era, which I thought, which was a lot of fun, and then just fell by the wayside because I got caught up in other things. But now, thanks to the lovely staff that I have, who also takes on other features or news, such as Quent's doing news earlier today, gives me a little bit more time to do stuff like that. And that's why I'm doing stuff on my personal TikTok as well, because I'm passionate about a lot of stuff and I love creating in general. So I've been doing TikToks. I already said I've done one about how much I love the anime Frieren. I'm trying to do one a week. I did one where I reviewed Wonka, Saltburn, and Leave the World Behind. And then my most recent one was my longest, and it's about pro wrestling and how you might be surprised at how much realism there is in the world of pro wrestling. Actually, I had a friend reach out to tell me specifically that they watched that wrestling TikTok and they really enjoyed it. And I thought that was really nice of them. So I think it's TikTok.com. I think I'm Raw Me Cowboy on TikTok. You can go check that out there. But that stuff's just for fun. If it finds an audience, great. If not, no big deal. Just doing it because I like to speak stuff into the world. And that's it.
So I walked out of this room, and then I'm sure you heard me say, "Oh, Beaver Cat, it's summertime," and she was upstairs sleeping on the nice bed, which is
and
the
you
bed.
woke her up.
And
I guess being woken up for food isn't bad.
And then you just heard ka-dum as she jumped off the bed and came running.
Well,
down.
she always eats a lot of her food before the next day's feeding, but this time she ate literally every crumb, every morsel of everything. So she was ready to eat today.
Yeah, I put the dishes through the dishwasher. Well, her wet food dish gets a new one every day. She actually eats off of antique china saucers. And we have like a bajillion of them, but her dry food is off of like a little crystal plate, and that doesn't need to get like washed all the time. But it went through the dishwasher, so everything is nice and clean and tidy, and
the best of a meal possible.
She's slopping it up.
Thank you for the kind words on that TikTok, PC. I appreciate it. And now, MomBrain, if you could please hit that game show music. It is time for Did You Nintendo? I am adding the player right now. You are our player. Whoops, and let's spell it right. And today's player is William George, everybody. William, I will be hopping into a private Discord with you.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
Are you ready for trivia? I have private messaged them. So yes, did you Ninten-Know? PC, I saw that you were in there. I don't think I could ever let you. We could play in person, but not going to take away. Oh, William is ready. That's great. I don't think it would be fair for me to let you play. But anyway, here's how Did You Ninten-Know works. Let's fade that music out just so our player can get every bit of important information that they need. There will be 5 questions. They are all related to Nintendo, not specifically in general. So that includes third-party games, but all games and franchises that have appeared on Nintendo systems. 5 questions. Thank you, Josh. You answer the questions correctly or incorrectly. And then at the end of all 5 questions, we spin a dice. We roll a dice. We spin a wheel. Depending on the number that is rolled, if you answered that question correctly, then you are a winner. But if it lands on number 6, you win no matter what. So even if you didn't answer any questions right, if you land on 6, it works. So there you go. That's it. We got our 5 questions.
Hey, listen,
here
Josh,
we
no,
go.
listen, Josh PM'd me and he said that he's feeling a little under the weather today and wanted to know if you could read the question.
Well, I already said at the start of the show that I was doing it, but
Okay.
we'll pretend like that just happened. Sure.
Okay.
What are you and Josh trying to pull here? Hi, Backseat Studios.
That is incorrect.
So, William, I will be reading your questions. You will have the length of the question song to answer,
which starts from the moment Ramit ends reading the question.
That is correct. So let me.
That is incorrect.
Let me get your questions here. Not the computer repair thing that I have open. Questions. Okay, here we go.
You're a sweaty.
William, here is your first question. What is the name of Mega Man's dog companion? What is the name of Mega Man's dog companion? MomBrain, can you please keep track of what ones are gotten correct or incorrect? William has an answer. William has answered Rush. Josh is the answer, Rush.
That is correct.
That is correct. That's 1 correct. Off to a great start. Question number 2. Name any of Kirby's 3 animal companions from Kirby's Dream Land 2. There are 3 animal companions in Kirby's Dream Land 2. Name any one of them. Looking for any one of the 3 animal companions is appropriate. I almost said what types of animals they are, but can't do that. William has just under the buzzer put in an answer. He has answered Rick.
That is correct.
That is correct. Rick is one of them. There's Rick the hamster, Coo the owl, and Kine the ocean sunfish. In case you wanted to know. 2 for 2.
Outstanding.
Number 3. Nintendo had been releasing Fire Emblem games in Japan since the Famicom days, but what system did the first localized Fire Emblem game appear on? So the first localized Fire Emblem game, what platform did it appear on? It took us a while to get Fire Emblem games outside of Japan, but when we did, the first one arrived on this platform. William has answered. William's on top of this. William has answered the GBA.
That is correct.
That is correct. This guy knows his Nintendo. On a roll, 3 for 3. This is going to be a lock. This guy's going to get whatever game he wants. All right. Question 4. What was the code name for the GameCube? When the GameCube was in development, just as any other Nintendo system does, Nintendo had a code name for this system. What was the GameCube's code name? It's very hard for me to do this and not almost say the answer.
I do that with music all the time.
Music. We need an answer before the music. Oh, just in at the end here. William says dolphin.
That is correct.
That is correct. 4 for 4. I think we might have a guaranteed trivia winner here, or game winner.
We got a celebrate.
Not yet. Not yet. Almost. 5th and final question, William. Good luck to you. In the Metroid franchise, what is the name of the ancient and highly advanced species of bird-like creatures that appear in multiple installments? Bird-like, super smart creatures in the Metroid franchise. What are they known as? We already have an answer from William. William says Chozo. Josh, could you please?
Correct.
That is correct. The roll doesn't even matter. The roll doesn't matter. William George is a winner. A true Nintendo fan through and through. He knew his third party. He knew his first party. He knew platform code names. He knew character names. He did it all. Do we still roll for the hell of it? See if he gets a 6.
Yeah.
Turning it to you, MomBrain.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay, Josh. Got you. We'll do it just for fun. 6-sided die, and it came up with a 4, so he's going to win no matter what, but I wanted to see if he got the 6. Congratulations, William George. You are a true Nintendo fan. I will message you on Discord later today, and we'll talk about getting you a game, a Switch game. We'll see what I got for you. You will not get the Name of Austin treatment. I will give you what should be good, 2 great games to choose from. So congratulations. Congratulations. Again, we do Did You Nintendo bi-weekly. So no trivia next week, but the week after, it could be you. You could be the lucky player. You could be the winner of a brand new Switch game. So bone up on your Nintendo knowledge. I've been trying to make the questions difficult and not difficult. Well, not difficult, but a little more than base level. Like what color clothing does Mario wear, or something like that. So,
Piper is receiving transmissions, by the way, from the basement.
They want food. Congratulations again. I love.
Why
Do
she
You
threw up
Nintendo.
down there?
I don't know.
She
I don't
was
know
giving
what
them
caused
food?
her. Wow. Radical Defect says, I think the questions are just right. Well, I try.
Great job.
Speaking of game shows, keeping up, because I've been mentioning this every week now for 3+ weeks. Still no big deal winner on Let's Make a Deal. Everybody's picked the wrong curtain at the end. I cannot believe it's been that long of a streak.
Great story.
What are you, a game show hater, Josh? Or you mean it?
No, not at
Oh,
all.
okay. No, thank you, William. Thank you. The pleasure was all mine. So yeah, 3 weeks, no big deal winner. MomBrain, we're going to talk about a very important, well, it's not, a story I'm very passionate about. I don't want to say in the grand scheme of things it's important, but it's certainly worth talking about. But before we do that, very quickly, would you like to talk about your Price is Right story with me?
Yeah. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
It was yesterday, yeah.
I stayed a little late at work yesterday to try and get some things accomplished. And I stayed as late as I could without going cross-eyed. So I came home.
I said a quick version. Go on.
So I came home and Raw Meat was just finishing up the last maybe half of his walk on the treadmill in the basement.
Hi, Tater Tot.
And I come in and I'm not even through the kitchen, and I hear Raw Meat clapping and very impassioned, and he's yelling go green, and I thought to myself, I bet he's watching The Price is Right, and I bet it's Rat Race. And he came upstairs and I was like, they play Rat Race today? Did green win? And he said,
I didn't even know you were home, but yes, I was watching Rat Race. For those who don't know, on The Price is Right, there's a game called Rat Race. There's 5 rats. You have to guess the rat that's going to come in first, second, or third. You want to get first, obviously. There's 3 prizes to win. It was I don't remember. It was like a telescope, and I don't remember, and a car. So obviously you want the car, but you can't just pick 3 rats. You have to win the chance to pick a rat. So you guess the prices of 3 different prizes. This woman guessed incorrectly twice, and on the last one guessed correctly. So she had one guess at a rat. She picked the green rat. Rat race starts. Green rat is behind, and then it starts to pick up steam, and it's like neck and neck with everybody else. And I was screaming like, "Come on, green!" Because I want the lady only had one choice, and at the end, or near the end, it took the lead. But then it started to slow down, and orange was coming up, but green had enough that it actually crossed the line, and the lady won the car. And I was clapping and cheering and tearing up. It was great. It was a great rat race. It's what you want to see from Rat Race. It was a real nail biter.
Also, we would love to say hello to Tater Tot and young Spud, who tuned in just in time to listen to trivia. So howdy to Tater Tot.
Oh, they were here for trivia?
And our young Spud.
They were.
I
don't think
believe.
so.
Hey, Spud and I were finally able to tune in for a lot. Oh, tune in live for a change. Sorry.
Liar. You're a liar.
Spud,
Mom.
I'm so sorry. Spud, we speak your name.
Just missed trivia, but that's okay. It gives you something to listen to when you're not listening live. Okay. That's that. Now, MomBrain, I'm very excited that, well, I don't want to say excited because it's not the right word, but I've been thinking about talking about this since it happened. Someone on Patreon reached out to me and they were like, "Are you going to talk about this thing?" And I said, "Oh, yes, I am. I've been planning to talk about it." So we are talking about it now. I believe I mentioned it to you. I don't remember anything anymore. Did I talk to you about some kid who played Tetris?
I don't think so.
Oh, excellent. That makes it even better. Okay, let me fill you in. There's this kid who plays Tetris, but he's not just like, some regular Tetris player. He's
How old?
like, he's 13 years old.
Middle schooler.
His name online is Blue Scuddy, SCUTI, or Blue Scooty. I don't know. Doesn't matter. His real name is Willis Gibson. So he plays Tetris, but he plays it phenomenally well.
Does he play with his feet?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Just plays with what? His hands aren't good enough now? Got to play with your feet?
No, I
too?
mean, like, was he adapting?
No, I'll tell you the
Okay.
whole thing if you
Okay.
just give me a chance.
All right.
He plays Tetris really well. He was in the Tetris World Championships last year, I believe. He's won events. Like, he's a phenomenon. He's the new rising star in the Tetris competitive scene. And just, I don't know if it was this week or a little bit before this week, but the news made its way out into the ether this week. He was playing Tetris on the NES, the original, and he managed to get 9,000, or I don't know what it was. I guess it's like 999,999 points and lines or whatever. So, and he's playing like the whole time. So, when it gets to the top speed, it's like really flying down. And he managed to do so well that the score ticker reached that level and the game froze. So literally, that's called a kill screen. There's a kill screen in Donkey Kong as well, where you get to a point where the game just like can't handle it anymore because of all the things going on, and the game crashes. That's it. So he did it, made the game crash. He is literally the first person in the entire world to achieve this. We only knew this was possible through AI. So a computer program could do it, but no human had ever done it in the history of the world. Until now. Willis Gibson is the first in history to prove that, yes, I can do what a computer can do. So again, we knew it was doable, but could a human actually make it happen? Yes, they can. So this story went all over the place because the kid recorded himself playing and he captured the moment that this happened, and he puts his hands up. He starts crying. He's so excited. He can't believe that it happened. Like, it's a great moment. Really sweet kid. At least he seems sweet in this moment. It was a really like wholesome thing to see. It was awesome. So it went all over the internet. A whole bunch of news outlets started talking about it. There were news programs on TV that were talking about it. Worldwide coverage for this. It was really cool. And that includes coverage from Sky News. There's a correspondent on Sky News, or I guess she's their main anchor, Jane Secker. She threw to the piece on the that episode of Sky News and talked about what the kid did. And they had footage of the kid and the moment that it happened and all that. And then at the very end of the segment, I wrote it down word for word. Here's what she said. Are you ready, MomBrain?
This newscaster?
Yes. The newscaster says, quote, as a mother, I would just say, step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal.
Okay. So,
End quote. Now, hold on. I want to say she said this with the most pretentious, smug delivery I've seen in a long time. Like laughing, not like out loud, like mocking, laughing, like snobbish attitude. It was I was going to say for a lack of a better word, but the word I think is appropriate, disgusting. It was disgusting. I was like, I can't get over that she did it. I'm going to let you say your piece because I know you got a lot to say on this, and then I'll continue.
I have several things to say about it. The first thing I'm going to say might be a hot take, and I feel I need to start with saying I am not.
Screw that kid.
I'm not a mother by choice.
Your mother.
We are child free by choice.
Your mother. Your mother.
I cannot stand it. That's right. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, keep popping those pills. Keep using those prophylactics.
child-free.
You do what you got to do.
Wow.
Yep. I cannot. It upsets me so much when someone starts anything with as a mother, right? Like, because, you know, motherhood is like a really important thing, right? And you are burdened with glorious purpose as a mother, really.
Oh, I'm not wearing that hat. Thought I had my Loki hat on.
However, you know, most people who have uteruses could be mothers, right? So just because you're a mother just because you had a kid does not entitle you to any kind of, you know, intellectual whatever. It's the choices you make as a parent, as a mother, right? That like make you a good parent.
Name a mother.
So to say that that's your, like, you're going to start with that, right? Like not, as a person who studies child development or, as an expert in brain development, or right, like just as a mother, it's this like double-edged sword for me. It's this like, so you're saying that I am an expert on children because I'm a mother, and you're like discrediting good motherhood. And then also
knocking a kid and knocking a kid's mom, all by saying as a mother.
Yeah, like it's a very loaded thing to say. And again, right, like I think that, you know, motherhood is unfortunately like a very a really difficult thing, especially like in our, you know, American culture, right? So it's just loaded for me, right? And so I see both sides of it. I just don't ever think that a really good mother ever starts a sentence with as a mother, right? Like, I just don't. I could, and also it's not relevant. Like, it is not at all relevant to this conversation, right? Like,
It's relevant in the sense that now we know what she would do with her children.
But, well, yeah, it's not relevant. And no one asked, right, for you to like put this kid down. No one said like,
she doesn't need to be asked for her opinion. She can share her opinion all she wants. She's the host of a show. Go for it. I don't mind that she's sharing her opinion. My problem is her opinion sucks.
Yeah. And and I'm guilty of it too, right? I'm not like sitting here on my mountain. It is so much more common in our society to see happiness and success as this like finite resource And that just because someone has success, it means that somehow you don't get it because they got, your share, or they got a share, which leaves less for you, right? So like, which isn't true, right? Like there's enough suffering and happiness in the world to go around for everyone. And I'm not saying like, oh, well, you're in charge of making your own happiness, and all that, but like, it's not a finite resource. So like, you can't just say, I'm really glad that this kid like set a goal and accomplished it, or like how incredible it must be to be the first human being on earth to accomplish something. And by the way, and we were just having this conversation with a family member recently, that like young people, it's so easy for like the grown-ups or even just like older young people to like look down at like early teens, and even people in their 20s and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're so young. You're so dumb. Like, these kids are growing up in a time, I mean, it kind of started with us in our like youth, where like things really started like going very south. And like, they're growing up in a time that is so awful. Like, we have ruined so much for these young people. And so for older generations to look down at them and say like, hey, you found a little slice of happiness in this ultimately like dystopian world we're living in, and like success, and you were motivated, and like, you should go outside. Hey, guess what? Outside is dying, and it's your fault, lady. Like,
Well, even that, none of that even matters anyway. None of that matters at all. Like, let the kid do whatever the hell he wants to do. It doesn't matter.
It just.
Highly Tom said something I didn't know. He says he dedicated that to his deceased parent. So that makes it even worse.
Yeah, I just, stuff like that is just so like, what a like miserable human being to like shovel on anyone's.
He's 13, yeah, Red Susan.
Yeah, shovel on anyone's happiness. But there's this tender 13-year-old kid. Like, how about as a mother, I am happy to see a happy kid. Like, maybe that's your statement.
Yeah, maybe if you don't understand why it's a big deal or why anything about games or whatever, none of that matters. Yeah, you can see that the kid is clearly happy and be like, I have no idea what's going on here, but this clearly means a lot to him, so I'm very happy to see that.
Yeah, and like who's looking at the kids who win like the Little League World Series and saying like, as a mother, I wish he applied himself more to his grades.
You stumbled into something perfect, because that same show did a segment on a 16-year-old darts player who won something. I saw, I forgive me, I don't know a lot about darts, but I saw that this kid won like a major something. And that's equally impressive, like amazing, great for the kid. You. But for the same show and host and whatever to applaud a darts player for his achievement in darts, and then not applaud or maybe it's just this correspondent, for her to be okay with the darts thing and not be okay with the Tetris thing is crazy to me, especially when I believe the darts player may have been the youngest to win whatever he won, but also the Tetris player is literally the first person in the entire world to do this. And I'm not saying one achievement is better than the other. It's just crazy to me that she can look at darts and be like, good for this kid, that's great. And then look at this Tetris kid and be like, go outside, and whatever the hell she said at the end of it. Let me look back. Beating Tetris is not a life goal. Like, that's the worst. The whole I would just like to say, step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. I
hope maybe she's constipated.
Maybe
her life goal should be taking a nice fat dump.
That's such an old way of thinking, and it's such an old trope, and it's shocking to me that there's people that still act like that in 2024. But it's shocking, but it's not 100% surprising. But the part after, beating Tetris is not a life goal, that's horrendous. That's next level mean.
And like, know your platform, right? You're like presenting the news.
It doesn't matter.
You don't get an opinion. You're a newscaster.
No. News is full of opinion all the time. I don't care that she has an opinion. My problem is this is a disgusting opinion. And how can you not see where's the cognitive dissonance here for applauding the darts kid and crapping on the Tetris kid? It's crazy to me. And Tetris Kid's mom, not in response to this interview, but she was interviewed about what her son achieved, and I forget what outlet it was, but there was a talk about like, do you mind that he's doing this? And she's like, as long as he's doing his chores, I don't care what he does outside of that. Like, do whatever. So, just horrendous, and it's like if you personified the Grinch. That's the best I can say. I reached out to her on Twitter to be like, hey, I'm sorry, on X, to be like, I would love to interview you and get some more insight on this, on why you made this statement. And I emailed her directly as well. And all
Probably
of
good
my
thing she probably
commentary,
doesn't listen to the podcast. then.
all of my commentary, or all of my interactions with her were cordial and level-headed, and I didn't attack, and I wasn't mean or anything like that. I haven't heard from her yet. I believe she's inundated with stuff, and I also imagine she's absolutely floored that she's receiving this wall of criticism for what she did, because she probably didn't think anything of it or thought everybody was going to align with her. So I'm
Did
sure
you know you
she's
can play Tetris for free on
she's been
Tetris.com?
knocked on her feet or on her butt by this
And you know
this
what else is a life
swarm
goal?
of
Did you know you
coverage.
can win money just for playing
It's
Tetris?
true.
$5,000 is on the line tonight in Tetris Prime Time.
Willis did. If he won like the one of the championships for Tetris, then he's won the money for it.
You know what, Willis? We speak your name
We do.
and we support you, and we are really proud of you and your accomplishment. And we really hope that you continue to achieve wonderful things in your life.
Well, that's the great part about the internet. It does seem, by and large, this is very one-sided, where everybody's like, this kid should not have been crapped on. This kid did something awesome. Let the kid do whatever he wants to do. Recognize his achievement. Like,
Yeah.
of course, there's a couple people that were like, well, at least the darts kid had to stand up to do it, or some crap like that.
I bet the Tetris kid was standing up. I mean, that's what I do when.
He wasn't. Don't say that. Don't say that. He wasn't.
Oh.
We have video footage. I told you.
Oh, right.
But yeah, the internet did not react kindly to this, and we don't think the Sky News reporter should be harassed or threatened or anything like that. But certainly, just as she shared her opinion, you can speak yours as well. You don't have to do it directly to her, even though she had an audience to directly do it to. But you can go on the internet and say your piece as well. Reply to Sky News and let them know how you feel if you want, but not, again, share your level-headed counterpoint. Do not threaten, harass, or incite hate or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, the internet seems to be all about defending Willis and being like, what is up with this journalist? So I'd love to get an interview with Jane Secker just to get more information on where she's coming from, why she feels that way, if she regrets saying what she did. I can't imagine she will get back to me. In my history of GoNintendo, whenever there's been a situation like this, I've had exactly one person reach out to me and say, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate you being cordial, and I would like to talk about it. So more often than not, people, A, don't think they're wrong, B, don't care about it at all, or C, like the attention. So that's usually how it goes. But maybe Jane will be one of the few that does respond. We'll find out. So I'll keep you posted on that front. But yes, congratulations to Willis Gibson on his first in the world achievement. No one else has done it. I'm sure someone else will at some point, but we now know that we are just as good as the computers out there. At least one of us is. And he's 13.
Unbelievable.
He's 13.
Wow.
Wow is right. All right. That's what we got here for all the pre-show stuff. Let's do some news, MomBrain. Let's do some news, MomBrain. There we go. Finally. What do we got this week in the news? I don't remember. But I'm going to tell you. Oh, yeah. Why didn't I talk about this? I know I had talked about this on Patreon for a couple weeks leading up to it.
For
but,
$1.
I was talking about doing the GoNintendo Game Awards again, as we did them last year. And then I got so in my own head, where I voiced this opinion with you guys before. I just don't feel like I should or GoNintendo should be like giving out awards for things. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I have a problem seeing like my outlet as something that should be like, here's our stamp of approval. It's just, I don't, I'm not saying we're not going to do it again. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. Just, I'm not personally, I don't want to say I'm not okay with it, but it just doesn't feel, something about it doesn't feel right. So I need to,
Not gonna lie, I'm sweating a little bit.
I need to think about it more. I need to figure out a better way to do it. But this year, what I did instead, since I was struggling with those feelings, were I opened it up to the staff, and I had the staff who wanted to write little blurbs about their favorite games of 2023. So that's what I did. You guys hear enough from me. I don't need to tell you more about what I like and what I love. I do it on the podcast. I do it on Patreon. I write reviews for the site. You get enough of me. So I opened up to just the staff and gave them an introduction as well. They shared their favorite games of 2023, regardless of platforms. Not all the staff because people are busy and got things going on, but some of the staff did. So you can go read that feature. We have the favorites of Alternus Liz, Quence, who did coverage today on the site, Jay Maldonado. There you go. I'm not used to saying people's real names. I'm used to saying Discord names. Jack, who's our Mega Man guy, and other things, of course. Nintendo and ZJ Master all offered up their thoughts on their favorite games of the year. And it's a great list of stuff, so I suggest you go check it out. That was what I marked as the first top story this week. And now we get into more traditional news. MomBrain, get excited. This is going to... What are you doing over here, by the way? Just buying books?
Yeah.
Buy my book. MomBrain and I got Amazon gift cards as a Christmas present from her parents. So we've been... Well, I bought one book. That's all I did so far.
No, you bought a game, right?
Nope. No, I did not.
I thought you bought Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, I did. You're right. You're right. But I used my Amazon points or my American Express points.
Dear Diary.
So it didn't.
Oh, there goes my eye. Twitching.
It didn't count. MomBrain, do you know what 2024 marks?
Sure, why not?
Okay, tell me.
2024 marks our 25th year of our relationship.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What are you counting from?
1999, baby.
Okay. Were we together before that?
No.
Okay. 1999. We're doing it. But more importantly, you know what's there?
What?
2024 is the 30th anniversary of Earthbound. That's specifically Earthbound, so Mother 2 to our friends in Japan. 30 years since Earthbound came out. The specific date is August 27th, 1994, but they're going to be celebrating this all year round. North America didn't get the game until June 5th, 1995, but still, the game came into existence 1994, August 27th. So this year, we'll be bringing us the 30th anniversary celebrations, and it seems like we have some stuff to look forward to. The official Mother series account on X put out a special tweet saying, hey, it's the 30th anniversary of Mother 2 or Earthbound. And they said that they will have, quote, various plans, end quote, to recognize the game's 3 decades of existence. There's going to be anniversary merch, a new type of event, a collaborative event, and a measuring stick. I don't know what that's about, but in the game you can get a ruler, so maybe that's something related
And
to
all I can think of is when I hear measuring is We Fit. Measuring.
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 Bum, 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 bum.
I would still get that and you wouldn't.
You would still get that now, and I wouldn't. You're saying,
and you get the body that goes.
Yeah. You can barely stand up yourself.
Let's roll you off this Wii Fit board.
Yeah. So yes, there's things in the work. We also noticed that the blog for Earthbound mentioned that some of these plans are almost complete, And through Google Translation, we saw that it says, quote, something has finally been decided and even things that we don't know what will happen, end quote. So it sounds like there's some sizable stuff. Now, listen, I want to be just as excited as everybody else. One of the very few remakes I would actually want is an Earthbound one, if only to give people a reason to finally play the game. Because I know you can get it. You can get it on Virtual Console, or you can
gentlemen,
get it through Switch
Piper.
Online.
Oh,
Oh,
the Peepa.
but I know there's people who won't play because it looks like a Super Nintendo game. But if they did do a remake or a remaster, I would be very excited because it would give people more motivation to check it out. So there's no inkling of that actually happening. But with this verbiage and how it seems like, oh boy, how it seems like there's a whole bunch of things in the works. We never know what's going to happen. So cross your fingers for something really big. But put the cat down. She does not want to be here. So merch is great, and I'm sure there's going to be some really fun stuff there. But there's other events going on. There's also a television show in Japan. I forget the name of it, but it has one season so far, and they shared the outline for the second season. And the second season is ending with an episode about Earthbound. So that's not by coincidence. It's because of the 30th anniversary. So maybe we'll get some great news there. I'll wait to do the news until you're done.
Red Susan says Piper looks so big and healthy. Peepa, you look so big and healthy.
Well, she wasn't. Hi, Storby's Corbin. She wasn't being held in the nicest way, so she probably looked.
In the most flattering. She was being held nicely.
She's got a
nice primordial
pouch. Yes, but I would say she's the weight she's supposed to be.
She's actually like 7 pounds. Like, she's very light. She's little birdie bones.
But that pouch. So yes, Earthbound stuff is coming for the 30th anniversary. We know some of the things. We don't know all the things. Just keep expectations in check. TKO says, to celebrate this anniversary, I'd love to see Mother 3 get a Western release, even if it's through Switch Online expansion pack. And I'd love to see Earthbound get a remake like Link's Awakening for release on Switch later this year, and its eminent successor sometime afterward. I mean, my friend, that would be more than I could hope for. I'm right there with you on all of that. Mother 3 localization would absolutely, positively blow my mind. I would cry tears of joy for that. I'm sure many other dedicated fans would as well. It would be so lovely to see that game finally get localized, even if they go in and do a whole bunch of cuts, tweaks, and adjustments just to get some kind of version of that game out around the world officially, legitimately, would be fantastic. And of course, as I already mentioned, yeah, a remake would be great because I think it would open up the game to a new audience. And there's that little piece in some gamers' minds where they know what Earthbound is, but they've never played it. And if you just give them the little nudge of here's a remake, they might be like, now's the time for me to go check that out. So who knows? But at the very least, merch and events. So we'll look forward to that. Continuing on with speculation, analysts have talked about the Switch 2, of which they know nothing officially, but they're always willing to talk about what they expect. So our friends at Games Industry talked to a whole bunch of analysts
That is not correct.
to see what they thought about the Switch successor, when that's going to arrive, how much it'll cost, what it'll do, all that stuff. We heard from Dr. Serkin Toto, who has been an analyst for a very long time. He says, quote, the time is finally here for a Switch successor, even though I can say a Pro model actually did exist and certain developers were already working with the dev kit. I believe the next hardware will drop next year. So I believe this interview happened in 2023. So he's saying 2024. And it will be $400. There's a chance that games will cost more too, $70. The next system is also likely to be an iteration rather than a revolution. No pun intended, obviously. Nintendo might add some bells and whistles to the device, but it will be similar to the current Switch. And because there's Pokemon, and Pokemon is associated with handheld gaming, there's no way on earth Nintendo will drop the portability feature for the next big thing. So not anything crazy here. It's pretty much what armchair analysts have been saying, and fans alike. We think it's going to be a fresh take on the Switch, so it will retain all the important features of the Switch, like portability, but it will be more powerful. And we all think we'll, at the very least, see it in 2024. We'll know if its existence officially. Nintendo will reveal something this year. Will it come out this year? Who knows? We also have comment from Tom Weisman of Newzoo, another analyst, who says Nintendo Switch 2 will launch in 2024 with a highly anticipated 3D Mario game. Having embraced a digital storefront, Nintendo will allow users to transfer between Nintendo accounts to Switch 2. No more building your games library from scratch. Again, he's speaking of from a place of authority, but it's still just speculation. We don't know if any of that is true, but yes, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a super analyst to think that 2024 will bring us our first concrete information on the Switch. And almost everything we've heard, rumor-wise, points to it being an iteration on what the Switch already does. So like a PS1 to a PS2, or as it used to be back in the old days, an N64 to a GameCube. So more along those lines. And after Nintendo found such incredible success with the Switch, it makes sense to do that for at least one more generation. I could not be mad at them for taking that route. It makes too much sense. They've created an ecosystem that people really enjoy. It seems like the way to go. Now, let's say that is what they do, and then we get to what comes after Switch 2. If they took that same route again, I would say I couldn't blame them, but I would be more disappointed. But yes, I don't think it's time to move on from the Switch as an idea yet. Obviously, there's something there that people really like. So I say, let's do it all over again in a more powerful system, and we just, run it for another 7 years. I'm totally down with that approach. Totally fine by me. And I can certainly respect that if Nintendo does it, because, you have to remember they came from the Wii U to the Switch, and the Wii U was a very tough time for Nintendo. So Nintendo will be like, we had a really big hit with the Switch. Let's not go too crazy right now. Let's let the software speak for Switch 2 rather than trying to reinvent the wheel with the hardware this time. But as Cirque Toto said, there might be some bells and whistles on Switch 2 where you're like, oh, this is cool. There's this little thing or that little thing. Who knows? Time will tell, my friends. We're all on this ride together. Hawk talks about the mention of $70 games, and they say, I would be surprised if they didn't raise the price of games. Everything I buy is more expensive now. Why wouldn't games keep up with inflation? And I hope he's right that it's an iteration on the Switch, not a radical new idea. I really like how the Switch works. I just like a stronger one, maybe with some new features or some old ones back, like the infrared pointer. Yeah, again, totally down. I think most people would be like that. I think with 130 plus million Switch owners out there, I think a very decent chunk of them would see Switch 2 and be like, stronger, more powerful, and more new iterations of the games or franchises I love. Yeah, I'm in. So, and if Nintendo did go that route too, I would imagine third parties would be willing to be there at launch and be like, yes, we're in, because third parties were there at Switch launch, but there wasn't a ton. And there were some third parties at Wii U launch, but they got burned. So of course, now that they've seen Switch, if Nintendo's like, hey, we're doing Switch 2, then there's going to be more third parties that are like, we're going to be there at launch or launch window. So it seems like the smart business play to me. But who am I? I ain't no business guy. We're going to talk more about Bowser, not Doug Bowser, not the Bowser, but Gary Bowser. You may remember Gary Bowser as someone who went to jail for being involved with releasing hardware
Underground mushroom trade
that paved the way for piracy. He was on Team Zecular's group of people, or he led Team Zecular when they made hardware that allowed people to play pirated 3DS and Switch games. Now, Team Zecular would argue that they didn't do that. They just created ways for people to play legitimate backed up copies of games that they own. Backed up legitimate copies of games you own, that's great. But we all know that's not why people make these devices. They make them because they know they'll sell because piracy and people want to download games and not pay for them. So he went to court, went to jail, paid Nintendo $10 million in damages, is likely still paying that figure. But he is out of jail now. But his name's back in the spotlight because... and I'll tell you this because, all right, Nintendo hasn't said this to me. I know that Nintendo hasn't said anything to me, but I know this for a fact. Nintendo is mad that I'm talking about this, and that's all I'll say. there's another group out there that's working on a Switch flash cart. And his flash cart will allow you to do the same thing. Play up backed up legitimate copies of games on your Switch without any modifications. It just works through the Switch's cartridge
have a
slot or
problem.
game card slot. So of course, yes, it allows for piracy too, but they're gonna, hide behind the curtain of, oh, it's for legitimate backups, but it doesn't matter. Flash cart, Switch doesn't need to be modified. You just put the Switch card in the slot as you would any other game, and it allows that. It's called the MIG Switch. Not out yet, but whatever. So this got announced. Those who follow piracy were very interested in it, obviously, and those who follow legitimate ways to play backed up copies of games too. And word spread, and people are like, "Who's behind this thing?" And Gary Bowser's name came up, and people are like, "Oh my God, he did this once already. He got caught. He went to jail. He's got to pay $10 million. He's out of jail, and now he's doing it again." Well, Gary Bowser says, "Hey, this wasn't me." Gary Bowser.
We believe you, Gary.
When people were searching the MIG Switch's website, they're snooping around to seeing who's involved, see if they could get any information. And DNS records for the website listed Gary Bowser's name. So people are like, he owns the website. He's involved with this thing. Bowser claims, nope, that's not the case. He had hopped in his official Discord to explain the situation. And he said his name being associated with the project was due to a DNS poisoning attack. So that means bad actors went out there and they're like, let's inject this false information to make it look like Gary Bowser is actually doing this. Bowser went on to say, it's not me. Somebody's saying it's me and it's not me. He says he's fixed the problem that allowed the DNS issue in the first place, changed all of his passwords, and he should be good from here on out. But he says he's still getting threats and all that stuff. But he says, no, it's not me. So take his word for it or not. I would argue it's probably not him because he doesn't want another lawsuit. He doesn't want another fine. And probably most importantly, he doesn't want more jail time. So probably not him. So who's behind it? Who knows? But Nintendo's got another worry to take care of. But the good news for them is Switch is coming towards the end of its lifespan. Obviously, they just don't want to deal with this problem ever. But, they can get ahead of it for Switch 2 or whatever it ends up being. If it does use the same game card technology or something similar to it. Moving on, MomBrain, you got to play this because no one else is here.
Okay.
Europe. Want to know what they played on the Switch the most in 2023?
I do.
Nintendo has shared that information. Nintendo of Europe put out their info on the most played Switch games of 2023. Here's the best part. No particular order. So you are guessing games. Again, this is only Switch. So we're only worried about games that are on the Switch. And it says most played games of 2023 doesn't necessarily say that those games came out in 2023, although most of them did. So
Okay.
you guess until you're wrong.
Okay. Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, well, the game's over already. No, Hogwarts Legacy is here.
Mm-hmm.
That came out like a month and a half before the year was over.
I know, but
okay. You made it.
She
got one.
Zelda.
You saw me take a drink. You can't vamp here? You got your eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
Tears of the Kingdom. That is correct, yes.
Elden Ring.
Not available on Switch, so we're done.
Toots. All right.
Wow.
Well,
why would you go Elden Ring? You have so many others you could guess.
That's what came into my head.
Elden Ring is not on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
E-Ring Elden R is not on Switch.
I understand.
Well, I think MomBrain just didn't want to play, so.
That's not true.
Here's your other games, and you're going to be like, why didn't I say all of these? Fortnite, Minecraft, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Animal Crossing.
I almost said Animal Crossing.
But yet you went with Elden Ring first.
Wow.
Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
I was trying to show off.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Rocket League. Fall Guys. Super Mario Odyssey. Smash Brothers. Hogwarts, as you said. EA Sports FC 24. New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. Pokemon Unite. Nintendo Switch Sports. Splatoon 3. Mario Party Superstars. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. And finally, last but not least, Disney Dreamlight Valley.
That was my next guess.
There's your choices, or there's your most played games. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm. Good
I
counting.
played 5 of those this year.
Great counting.
Thank you. Sticer says, no surprises here. Europe loves their Nintendo Switch Sports, don't they? Yeah, Europe really does like that game a lot. You are right about that. America, it's not that we disliked it, but Europe definitely is more into it than we are. North America, what do we got this week? Let me tell you, it's a short list. Oh, it's not that short. I'm wrong. It's long.
Oh, dear.
North America, what do we got? 4x4 off-road collection. Anime Girls, High School of Dead. Anime Tank Blitz, Warbound Legends. Arcade Archives Mystic Warriors. Arcade Archives Solitary Fighter. Arcade Game Zone. Bool, Master Labyrinth Puzzles. Battlefront Trench Warriors, Ops of Warfare. Bike Courier, Bistro Express Delivery. Breakout Birdie 1 and 2, and Breakout Birdie Adventure. Buddy and Friends, Santa's Workshop Animal Party. Build a Bridge Collection. Bulanci or Bulanci, I don't know. Cafe Owner Simulator. Capitals Quizzer. Cat Simulator.
Ugh.
Cities Hero Collection. Clue, just Clue. Is it the board game Clue? I don't know. That's on Switch. Maybe this is a different version. Cynthia, Hidden in the Moon Shadow, Complete Edition. Driving World Collection. Dungeons and Doom Knights. Electrician Simulator. Fantasy Blacksmith Shop Simulator. Forbidden Ghost Photo. Gang Blast. Geo Jelly. Green Sauce Bundle. Hilm. Human Bowling. Icarus and the Prince of Sin. Isolated. Jigsaw Pets. Jinshin. Knights and Guns Elite Edition. Knights of the Rogue Dungeon. Kumamon Run. Legacy Mystery Bundle. Lonesome Village and a Tiny Sticker Tail Bundle. Maserata Town Story. Mayhem Motorsports Collection. Metro Redux or Redo. Monster Loves You 2. Moonlander. Moto Rush GT Diamond Edition. Mystery Box Escape the Room. Mystery Box The Journey. Nathan Jones and the Empty Century. Rush Hours Collection. Sniper Hunter Scope Ultimate Edition. Saints Row The Big Purple Package. Santa's Workshop Challenge The North Pole Gift Adventure. Shivering Stone. Ski Simulator. Sniper. Speedsters Collection. Starship Showdown Galactic Grand Prix. Superkart Mini Car Race. Synthetic Lover. The Curse of Kudan. The Garden Simulator. Plant, Grow, Decorate, Build.
Ooh.
The Spy Who Shot Me. The World of War II. Front Lines of History. I read that exactly as it's written.
Okay.
Tools Up Ultimate Edition. Traffic Master Collection. Truck Simulator 2024 USA Driver Zone. Ultimate Motobike Simulator. Unpoggable. Warzone Chronicles Virtual Warfare Shooter. Wizard Hunter, The End of the Magic World, and finally, Xmas Toy Merge.
Finally.
Donut Muffin says, the Switch eShop has gotten wild. Legacy Mystery Bundle is a collection of 2 other games, Sherlock Purr and Animal Farm Parking, which each have multiple versions already on the eShop. And this bundle is currently 91% off. Wild.
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nicky's sweet releases.
MomBrain, you have the short list.
How exciting for me. Nicky Hill, we speak your name. Here's the list for the week of January 4th, my mom's birthday, the year of our Lord 2024. Airport. Christmas Bubble Puzzle. City Bus Driver Simulator. That sounds so stressful.
I know, right? I mean, driving for me in general is stressful, but
Yeah.
city bus driver, Jesus.
Hentai Golf. Actually, I had a nightmare
Not
last
stressful.
night that the car caught on fire. Metro Redux. Ms. Bloody. Capital M, capital B. Princess Adventure Puzzle. Saints Row, The Big Purple Package. Ski Simulator Winter Sports. SNQZ or SNQZ.
Oh,
The Spy Who Shot Me. World of War II, Front Lines of History. They Know. Tools Up Ultimate Edition. And last but not least, Truck Simulator 2024 USA Drive Zone.
MomBrain, is there a comment there? I honestly don't know.
Yes. It's from Steister. And it says, Nicky Hill, we speak your name.
Nicky Hill, we speak your name. Do Michaels, we speak your name. For Nicky Hill, MomBrain, we speak your name. For Do Michaels and Nicky Hill. There you go.
Wow.
There you go. Finally, our last top story. It's not a happy topic, but it is a good thing. For those who don't know, the Pokémon with You Foundation was funded in 2011 to offer relief to victims of the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. And Pokemon Company has had that foundation in existence ever since to use it to donate to those in need for relief for natural disasters. And unfortunately, as probably everyone here knows, 2024 literally started with an earthquake in the Noto Peninsula of Japan. As of yesterday, 250 people are still missing, and sadly, 92 people lost their lives. That's yesterday's tally. I don't know where it is today. And obviously, thousands upon thousands are displaced because of all the wreckage and devastation that was caused. So Pokemon Company is stepping to offer some relief for those people through the Pokemon with You Foundation. Pokemon Company said they share their deepest sympathies for those affected by the earthquake, and they are donating 50 million yen, which roughly equates to $345,000. This will go to support organizations that help those affected by disaster and help restore the affected areas. Along with that, Pokemon Company says they're going to continue to carry out activities to help children affected by disaster, and their main goal is to help children, quote, regain their smiles, end quote, which is, I like hearing that stuff.
Well, it didn't, I mean, if Shawn Michaels could do it.
You know, there's two things I think of with smiles. It's WWE and Pokemon. So there you go. You're right. Pokemon Company also said they're sincere. This is them, quote, sincerely praying for the earliest possible recovery and reconstruction of the disaster-stricken areas, end quote. So $350K from Pokemon Company. Once again, you hate to see that it needs to be done, but you love to see that it is done.
Yeah.
Martin Stuff says, this is good. This is nice. It's nice to see these sort of programs doing good work. There's sure to be some snark, but I don't care. Charity is a community effort, and I hope those children get their smiles back soon. Yeah, there's always the argument to say, like, give more, or it's gross that companies have this much money and they don't donate already, or they don't do more with their money, or I get all that. But right now, what is important is people need relief. Pokemon Company is giving money, as is other companies. It doesn't absolve them of evil doing in other areas or hoarding cash or any of that, but the money is going to the people that need it right now. So that is, at the very least, a good thing. So now's not the time to debate the other aspects because people are hurting. People need money. People need relief. So that's what we should focus on now. And then when the people are where they need to be and are better taken care of, then we can get back to knocking down the system and building a better one. And that's where we're at. That's it for top stories this week. It was the week after Christmas or holiday break. So lighter than usual, but I'm okay with that. The week after makes you feel like this.
For you.
Oh, thank you. MomBrain, what have you been playing?
I didn't play a thing. We went back to school this week.
Rot week is over. Weeks are over.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it was a little bit of a struggle, but it wasn't horrible.
It was this was the worst. I was severely depressed. Like, I had been working during break and I'm still working. I'm always working, but like I was severely depressed that you were going back because I was like, we had such a good rot week. It was amazing. Or rot weeks. It was best time I can think of in a long time.
Yeah.
We relaxed. We went out to eat. We did shopping. We hung out here and enjoyed each other's company. We watched things. We played things. We spent time together in my office and the living room. And it was great. It was just great.
It was.
It was a great, like, nothing really cemently planned, but we had a great time every day. I mean, I still feel like it's going on now, but, you know, you're back to work.
Yeah. And we, you know, I luckily didn't have, like, my grad classes hadn't started back up and I didn't have any real commitments after school this week. So it was nice to be able to, like, come home and just take it easy in the afternoons. That helped. And then, this weekend has been nice so far. Like last night, we kind of did a couple little fun things, and
oh my God, we did the best thing. I won't name the restaurant, but we got takeout from a restaurant. I had their mac and cheese before, and it's one of the best mac and cheeses I've ever had, and I can't explain what they do to it
Me either.
taste-wise, but it has such a unique taste. It's still cheesy and creamy and what you want for mac and cheese, but they do some kind of flavor profile that's phenomenal. MomBrain had it I give it a 10 out of 10. MomBrain had it for the first time yesterday.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. It's so good. It's not a chain restaurant. Otherwise, I would tell you guys it's a local thing here, but oh, it's so good. And the best part is I had been like dreaming of it for a couple weeks, and just yesterday, MomBrain was like, "Do you want to go there?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yes, definitely do so." Had mac and cheese and ice cream. What more do you want? Radical
And
Defect.
onion rings. I had onion rings. Man, they were good.
I see what's going on in here. As you might know about me, Radical Defect, I do not like rewatching movies or TV shows, but everybody else does. And I love the movie Home Alone. I love Home Alone 2 more, actually. But PC was making a joke because when she came to visit last week, and as you'll remember, she missed the podcast, Home Alone was on TV. So MomBrain had on Home Alone as you were doing whatever, wrapping presents or something.
Getting ready to wrap some gifts.
And I do love that movie. I do love both those movies, or I should say the original 2 movies. I love them. But yes, I don't like rewatching movies. Probably, I know I've said it's because I like experiencing new things. There's always other stuff I want to play or watch, which is 100% true. And I'd rather dedicate my time there in my quest of finding the next thing that I really can become passionate about and spread to other people. But it's also probably has something to do with my sister as a child, rewatched her favorite things nonstop. The Little Mermaid,
And
Home Alone.
So did you then.
Mary Poppins, Beauty and the Beast, like every day, multiple times a day. So that might also have something to do with it. So there you go. Sorry you didn't play anything, MomBrain.
Did you play anything?
I did. I played Anastasia Beaverhausen. That is great. I played Fortnite as always. Finally got back to playing with friends along with family because there hadn't been friend play lately because there was holiday stuff going on. We had a friend out of the country. We had a friend with family visiting, so it just didn't work out. But now we're back with friends, so that was great. Played that. I played oh crap, what's it called? Oh, I have my Google Doc, so I can go in and look. Yes, Unsighted. I'm playing Unsighted. So
right back.
Okay, Unsighted's been on the Switch for a while now, but as you no doubt know, Nintendo just ran a massive sale on the Switch eShop. It's over now, but they had big discounts on a whole bunch of games, and Unsighted was one that was always on my list that I never got around to playing. And it was a 60% discount, 50 or 60, I don't remember. And I was like, well, time for me to jump in. And I used my gold points, so I didn't end up spending any money. I just downloaded it that way because with the discount, I had enough gold points. So I'm playing that. It's top-down puzzle platformer where you have multiple weapon loadouts like a sword and a gun and other stuff. And it's about this android who has forgotten her memories and she's slowly getting them back. And she comes to learn that there is something that's sucking basically the life force out of the world around her. And there's only and there's a whole bunch of other androids, and they use this life force basically to live. And the resources are dying out because of some nefarious whatever. And people are within 500 hours or androids are within 500 hours of being deactivated and dying. And you are setting out to find out what's going on, get the things that are necessary to prevent this, and hopefully stop everybody from being deactivated. So it's, like I said, top down, Zelda-esque so far. I'm not extremely far into it. I'm only a couple hours, but it's it's a Metroidvania. It's a whole connected world with, I believe it will have some dungeons, but there's an overworld area that you go around and fight enemies, and combat's really interesting. There's a dodge and a dash, and you have range weapons and close-up weapons, and you can parry things, which leaves enemies open to quick kills. It feels really good. Like I said, I was very interested in it for a while now, just never got around to playing it. It's got a very unique, I would call it like crunchy pixel look. It's more pixelated than most games that go for pixel art, but I mean that in a positive way. It's got a really interesting style to it. And the soundtrack is it's good, but it's very unique. I don't even know how to describe it. It's I don't want to say it's jazzy because it's not jazzy. There's songs that are all just piano, and then there's songs that are really like groovy and funky,
yeah.
and experimental. I don't know if you're not going to play the game, I'd go check out the soundtrack. It's got a very unique soundtrack, and it does something I love in games, which is when you have your base level music, and then when enemies show up, it adds in like a couple drums or other instruments, and maybe picks up the pace a little bit. So that's how it ebbs and flows as you play. I really like that. So again, only a couple hours in, setting out on my first main mission. I'm digging it. I'll have a lot more to say about it next week. And as I said, I played Slay the Princess, and I completed Slay the Princess. It's a visual novel. Here's what it's about. You are in the woods. You are this guy, and you have to slay the princess. She's in a cabin chained up to a wall. You don't know why she's there, but it's your job to kill her. And all this is steered by a narrator. So basically, it's the hero of the story, you, and a narrator who talks to you and tells you you're the hero. You have to slay the princess, otherwise the world is going to end. And it's a visual novel, so yeah, you have a whole bunch of dialogue options to pick from, where it's like, all right, I'm going to go slay the princess. Why do you want me to slay the princess? How come I'm the only one that can do this? What did the princess do? How can she end the world? And it's up to you to ask or do whatever you want. You can take it any way you'd like. But again, that's as simple as the premise is right in the beginning. Princess chained up. She's going to end the world if you don't kill her, and you're the only one who can do it. So you decide what you want to do. And obviously, there's a lot more to the game than that, but that would be ruining the game. I've told you what you learned in the beginning. I have not played Fate Morgana, Alternus Liz. The writing is very good. The narrator is really good. You hear a lot of the narrator, and I can't get into why because that's spoiler. But I mean, right off the bat, the premise is interesting because you're told you got to kill the princess, and I'm like, why? Why do I have to kill her? Is she really going to end the world? I don't want to do this. Why does it have to be me? And the game lets you play with all of that stuff. So it's one of those visual novels where it molds itself to the type of player you are. And the type of player you are is either, however you decide to play the game, or how you would act in real life. So you could play it from whatever standpoint you want, or you could play it as, here's what I would actually do if I were in this position. And I love that kind of stuff. So it is not the best visual novel I've ever played, but it is one worth checking out. It's certainly, I understand why there's so much conversation about it, because it's very interesting. I'd put it in the top tier of visual novels, but I it's not on the level for me of something like Doki Doki Literature Club, or trying to think of other visual novels. I've played so many and I'm blanking, of course, but Doki Doki Literature Club is always at the top of my mind, and I just bought a physical copy of it, so that's why it's at the forefront of my thinking. But Slay the Princess is very, very interesting. MomBrain, I think you would actually get a lot out of it. And it takes I don't know, it's like 3 to 5 hours to play, maybe.
Cool.
And the game is very clear about saying there is no bad ending. They're like, you are not going to play this game and get a bad ending. You just get an ending, and it's up to you to decide if you feel good or bad about it. There's no ending where it's like, you did something wrong. You didn't do this correctly. You took the wrong path. The game is not that way. The game it has 6 endings, and you'll arrive at one of them based on what you do, and how you get there is up to you. So, there you go. 10 Division says Slay the Princess is incredible. Yeah, it's certainly worth talking about. Very interesting. I would love to see it on Switch. It's a visual novel. No reason why it can't be, or it shouldn't be, or it isn't. I honestly am surprised it's not there yet, but it's gotten a lot of buzz. There's been a lot of positive press for it. I don't know how many people are playing it, but it's only available on Steam, I believe, right now. And it's cheap. I don't remember what it is, like $17 or something like that. But it was well worth my time. That's the first game I played this year and completed. Now I'm on to Unsighted, and there's another game I'm playing. I wish I could talk to you about it, but I am under embargo. I cannot talk to you about it. Here's what I'll tell you, and you can figure out what it is probably. It's coming out this month. It's coming out on Switch. It's a new installment in a long-running franchise, and it's not first party. And I really want to talk to you about it because it's really good. I could not be happier with it so far. And that's that. It's not Tears of the Kingdom. So I can't say any more than that. I never said what game I'm playing. I just told you it's coming out this month and it's part of a franchise. I'll talk to you about it when I can, but know that I'm very excited to talk to you about it. And that's it. You want to do questions, MomBrain?
Yeah.
It's not another code. No, I wish it was, but that is first party. I can't wait for. I haven't even played the demo yet, and I believe the demo for that game. What's it called? Another code recollection. I haven't played the demo because I believe the demo is just for the first game, and I've already played the first game. But yes, I can't. We're so close to that game coming out. I can't wait. I cannot believe that after 10 years, I'm finally going to get to play that sequel. It makes me want to cry. You guys know how excited I am for that. Oh, it's almost here. It's so great. So great. I know nobody's going to buy that game, but it doesn't matter. I'm getting the sequel finally. All right, let's do questions, MomBrain. Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
goninpod@gmail.com. They can be about Nintendo, video games in general, or whatever the hell you want. We got a question from Rosemary the Farmer.
Ooh.
I always do my best to not read the questions in advance. I just copy and paste them, so I did not read these. Hi, gang. There's a trend floating around the socials, and it begs the question, what are 6 movies to get to know you? Slight caveat, not necessarily your favorite movies, but ones that shaped you, for lack of a better phrase. If movies are too tricky, Freddie Fro and I have also played with games, music, albums, and TV shows. Pick your poison. Can't wait to get to know you all a little bit more. Promise I won't judge. Great question. This gets me to my core. I love this question because it's not about what your favorites are. It's about movies you think showcase who you are as a person.
Shaped you.
Fundamentally shaped you. And I love your approach of albums, movies, TV shows, games, because that just makes it easier. So would you like to go first or should I?
You can go first.
So I'm sure there's going to be more, but right off the top of my head, Undertale, without a doubt, speaks volumes of the type of person I am and how I feel and how I experience things that come across, that come to me, and how I see the world. Undertale speaks volumes for me. The same for The Fifth Element. I cannot explain how much a formative movie The Fifth Element was for me. You guys know I don't watch things over and over again. I saw The Fifth Element 7 times in theaters. That movie, how old? I don't know how old I was in high school when it came out. But that just awoken part of me, that not a sexual part, that I did, although Mila's attractive. It awoke me to myself. I don't know. There's just something like the core themes of that movie of love and hate and war and people and kindness and connections, and it did so much for me. And I know I saw it 7 times in the theater, but it's literally been decades since I watched it through. And just the other day, I was like, I should watch that again. I want to see how it connects with me now, because I might go through a whole new revelation with it, or maybe I won't like it anymore. But I don't know. But boy, oh boy, that's got to be above anything else for me. That moment, wow, it just really did it for me. Fooly Cooley, another one, without a doubt. Fooly Cooley's right there with Fifth Element for me. Fooly Cooley's like exploration of the human mind and people and urges and desires and trauma. And man, it's just one of the most transformative, amazing experiences I've ever had. I saw the second episode randomly on Adult Swim, knew nothing of it. That's when Adult Swim was doing the original run. And I ran over to the computer to watch the whole thing that night. So you guys, I mean, Fooly Cooley is my wallpaper on my phone. It's been decades since that came out, and it means so much to me. Radiohead as a band is another thing. That, just their music, their melancholy nature, there's something about their vibe just really clicks with me, and that it connects with my personality. Trying to think, is there anything else you can think of that I'm not mentioning that right off the top of your head you're like, yep, that got to be it? I would say right now, Frieren is getting there for me. Like Frieren's exploration of
Wegmans.
people's Wegmans, Pizza Hut. Frieren's exploration of what people mean to each other and how they pass through each other's lives. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
Like it's really. I've not read the manga. I'm up to date with the show. It's like I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, this is one of those special few things for me. This
Yeah.
is this unless things go sour for some reason, but this is one of those things. It's I know it's not a show for everybody, but for those it clicks for, I think it's really something special. I'll keep trying to think of other things that touch me on those levels, but right off the top of my head, there are those. MomBrain?
All right.
Great question.
We've got Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Is a huge one. There's just something about Twin Peaks that I feel at home. It feels like home. It feels like me.
You're welcome.
Yes. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood definitely formed a lot of who I am today, and a lot of it's a touchstone for me. Mr. Rogers in general is a touchstone for me when I'm having a hard time or just need to like get right. I can always turn to Mr. Rogers, and I don't know. There's just something like really wonderful. Oh yeah, Dude's right. Early Simpsons. There's just I try to just make Mr. Rogers. I try to make him right. When he says he's proud of me. I think for whatever reason, something that definitely would like describe like or help you understand like how I grew up or what I became. For whatever reason, So I Married an Axe Murderer, the movie was like so huge when I was in like middle school and like early high school for me. I don't know why. But that definitely for whatever reason like spoke to me. I don't know. But it definitely did. I keep like racking my brain for like I'm sure there's other like stuff that I could say like changed sort of like the way I see things or the way I look at things. Oh geez. Naomi Wolf is the author. I gotta look it up.
Since Dew said it, The Simpsons, while it doesn't move me on that level, The Simpsons is without a doubt probably the biggest influence on my humor in life. Certainly, like comedic timing and what I find funny and just back and forth banter. And yeah, like my humor would not be anywhere near what it is, or my sense of humor would not be what it is without The Simpsons input. Certainly.
The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf. Now I know that there's been some like, like looking back on it, like she kind of there's some controversy about what she wrote, but just kind of like reading that and understanding sort of like what goes on behind the curtain of what serves to keep like women oppressed and like focused on beauty and looks and whatever. Like that was it was like a revelation a little bit to me. And there was just something I remember saying it that it like put into words. What was it? It was like it put into words something I didn't know I thought. It was
Something you watched?
I don't remember, but it must have been
Reservation Dogs? That's the only thing you watched recently.
No, and I was like, I didn't realize that I thought that, but it put it into words.
Don't look at me. If you can't remember, I'm not going to get it.
I can't remember.
Guess it didn't do as much as you thought it. Was
That's
it the Barbie movie? PC says.
No, but that definitely was. I don't know that it like shaped me.
Was it the Iron Claw?
No, but the Barbie movie definitely was something that I was like, oh no, this is like my professional geeking out. This is what it was. It's like a constructivist approach to like behavior management.
Okay, teacher.
Yeah. Gold Diamond. I forget his name, his first name. I think it's Israel Gold Diamond's work on taking like a constructivist approach to kind of like the work that I do was like completely mind blowing for me. I went to like a conference and there were speakers, and I'm actually like in the next couple of weeks joining a book club with one of the researchers and the speakers, but it completely like flipped the way I see things and like put into words sort of what I feel about my profession, which is really cool.
Oh, so something none of us can experience.
Well, sure you can. And as a kid, I consistently daily on repeat watched Bedknobs and Broomsticks and the BBC version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Do you say The Lime, the Witch in the Wardrobe?
No, certainly
I've never
not.
seen that.
Certainly not.
Is it great?
Oh yeah, George, it's great.
The Lime, the main star.
Yeah. And those, I for whatever reason, sort of like shaped my childhood. Although full disclosure, all the Narnia stuff was like, I mean, C.S. Lewis had some really great like points, but also full disclosure, I was like a little bit disappointed when I realized that there was a lot of like, Jesus stuff that, I didn't know at the time was in there. And so like, that's not why I love it.
I didn't hear you say QVC yet.
Oh, yeah, QVC is
David Venable, very
absolutely
very influential person in your life.
Well, I mean, this is getting a little dark, but as a kid, like, I would put QVC on in my bedroom like at night so I couldn't hear my mom and dad having like arguments after I went to bed.
But you still watch it.
Yeah, it's very comforting for me. Very like.
You even watched the movies they put out.
Yeah, we all did.
All right. Thank you for that great question, Rosemary. Awesome. And I would like you to respond and let us know what your formative things are. You can't give us that question and not let us know. I need details. You and Freddy Pro. We also have MomBrain. Did you know we have a Patreon? You could join the Patreon
For $1.
For $1. Sinfield66 did. And they asked this question. Back in the olden days, shortly after becoming obsessed with the NES in the 80s, I also developed a love for arcade cabinets. They used to be everywhere, and I have fond memories of not putting any money in, tight parents, but pretending to play the demo that used to loop around. Some of my favorites were Star Wars, The Simpsons, Asterix, and Obelix, and of course, Street Fighter 2. I'm guessing the GN crew have played some arcade machines in the past. So which of your personal favorites stick out over the years? Yes.
Golden Axe.
In the arcade, really?
Yep.
Mine are Turtles in Time, without a doubt. Remember being in Disney World at an arcade in a line to play that game. It had just come out. My parents were like, "We're not going to stay in a line for this." And my uncle was like, "I'll go with you." So he stood in line and we waited and played. And he goes, "I don't know what I'm doing, but it's pretty fun." The Simpsons arcade game is an absolute classic, without a doubt. Playing Mortal Kombat in the arcade because at the time, there was nothing that gruesome ever before. And it kind of scared me, but thrilled me as well. And like when I saw it in the arcade, I was like, I shouldn't look at this. And I looked over it and I was like, oh. So I felt like I was doing something wrong by playing it. That's definitely one of them. Time Crisis.
The arcade by us. Droth's kid went there for a birthday party and they were like, you can't play Mortal Kombat. You're not old enough.
Time Crisis, I played a ton of. I actually beat Time Crisis with a friend, the 2-player version. I was going to say it wasn't at an arcade, it was at a movie theater, but we played it enough to eventually get to the point where we could get through the whole game. We probably spent like maybe $3 each getting through the whole game, but that was awesome. I've never beaten another arcade game in the actual arcade, so great memories of that. What else? Spy Hunter was probably one of the first, if not
the one. What was the one that you like held? Didn't you have one that you like looked into and like moved?
It's like Beachhead Warrior or some crap. No, Spy Hunter was just the racing top-down one, but that is one of the first video games I ever played, if not the first. I used to sit on my dad's lap in the arcade cabinet so I could reach the steering wheel and play that. And I remember loving the song in that, which was the Peter Gunn theme. I used to love that game.
DDR Down the Shore.
DDR in the arcade, without a doubt. Yep, played a ton of DDR. Where my top half does nothing, my bottom half goes crazy. I think I covered all the big ones. There's nothing else screaming out at me where like those are the fondest memories that I have.
I always enjoy pinball.
The Avengers game. I used to love the 4-player Avengers game, and I wasn't even into comics at the time, but just the look of that game, it's so bright and colorful, and the voices that it said, because they were I don't know who did the voice work, but I don't know if it was Japanese people doing the voices. It couldn't have been because they sound like native English speakers, but the translations that they were reading were so off. It was like there's like a scene right in the beginning where somebody's like something about escaping. Like a guy says, "You will be the one escaping," and I'm like, that doesn't really sound right. X-Men, the X-Men arcade game is another great one. Love that game. Same thing, colorful, beat 'em up, bad translation, which makes it all the more endearing. The Gauntlet I played in the arcade a lot. That was a really fun one in the arcade, especially 4-player, and that goes for like the original and what was it, Dark Legacy eventually. So yeah, lots of it. I played pinball, like you said. I played plenty of pinball. There was a VHS rental store that had a pinball machine in the back of it.
Next to the porn.
I forget what it was. It had it's a famous pinball machine. I think it's called Funhouse. It had like a ventriloquist dummy's head in it that used to eat the ball. And my mom and I would play that. Like we'd go there and rent something and then stay there for a half hour and play that game. It's just great. Probably, there's no other pinball game I played more than that. But yeah, loved my arcade time. Not really a thing anymore, but we have new stuff like arcades that collect old arcade machines and pinball machines, so you can go have a retro feeling arcade experience if you want. But they don't quite match up to the arcades of our days because
they're not as gritty,
dirty, gritty, lots of neon, dark all over the place.
I mean, an arcade down the shore on the boardwalk is its own universe, and so great, and so gross,
and I love
and so damp.
Claw machines or crane games, whatever you want to call them. I know those aren't arcade games, but they were in arcades. I love playing those too. I'm a sucker for those. Yes, I will spend $5 buying or trying to win like a plush that I don't care about. It's just the thrill of winning.
Of those we have.
Sugarloaf plushes. Yeah, all of them.
Twitchy baby.
Love them.
And those beautiful watches that we got. We still have one.
Drew's got one too somewhere.
I think we have his here.
Oh. So yes, that's my arcade experiences. Many fond memories. I knew something was wrong here.
What?
My phone's old.
Huh.
Yeah, my Discord just crapped out.
Mm.
PC says one of my earliest games was the WWF game for the Sega Genesis, and Doink terrified me. I was also a mall rat at 13, played DDR constantly. Of course, if you were in malls at arcades back in that era, you were playing DDR or you were watching people play DDR. So there you go. That's our arcade stuff. Well, MomBrain,
I'm gonna go out and shovel.
we did it. What? Why?
Because I think it's gonna get like sleety.
You're not going anywhere.
You wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I
Alright.
would have if I wasn't just out of the shower today, but I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah,
We could both do it.
I
tomorrow.
imagine it's going to warm up.
Yeah, I know. It's always a gamble. I never know if you're better off like going out shoveling halfway through or like.
If we were going somewhere tomorrow, or you
Yeah,
had to go somewhere, then I'd say, yeah, no, tonight enjoy the snow. Just sit here and do nothing. It's going to be nice and quiet with the
Yeah.
snow blanketed outside. It gets nice and
And
quiet.
then my favorite sound,
The plow
the sound of the
went by
plows
while we're
going
doing the
down.
show.
Mm.
Well, guys, not to jinx us in the last few seconds, but the laptop survived. Maybe some of the things I did actually ended up buying me a few more weeks, but we made it, everybody. We made it. Drink some hot cocoa, says Alternate Liz. Yeah, I got that low calorie hot cocoa too. I'm definitely going to eat some food today. That's for sure. But that's it. We no music, no rumors because we don't have dues connections, but we did what we could.
His little spiders and flies got the week off.
That's right, Master Higgins. We got a show, and I'd say it was a pretty good one. Get that Domino. See, PC, I'm not going to order Domino's now because I feel bad making the guy or girl drive out, or non-binary person. I don't want the delivery person to have to drive in the snow. I know they're doing it anyway, but I don't want to add to that list. I feel too bad. If they had that robot car coming to our house, hell yeah. Make that sucker drive anywhere.
Well, but then there's somebody who has to, then we're supporting the poor Domino's workers that have to show up to work even.
They're there no matter what. And if they can be at work and stay inside where it's safe and warm
They have
and
to
stick
drive there
pizzas
and drive home.
Well, they're there already though. Oh, there you go. Plow noise. I'm saying it's the best of both worlds. They're already there, but I'm not going to make them go out. Put it in the robot car. I don't care if the robot car gets into an accident as long as it's not with another person. We'll do a little bit of after show. There was something I want to talk about, but I forgot. But MomBrain will have something, I'm sure. Oh, you got stuff to talk about.
Do I?
Yep.
All right.
But that's it for today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this more cozy show. Dew did the other week, so hopefully he enjoys this one and you guys feel the same way. But thanks for putting up with this two-person show and shorter than usual, but hopefully you enjoyed it. I think it was a good one, okay? I'm just going to say it. I think it was a good one.
Just
MomBrain,
good?
You got the job. We'll see you next week.
Wow.
Give it an 8.5.
Ooh,
I feel like that's fair, right? It's always better with more people here, but I think we do all right.
Yeah, I think we hold our own.
All right, everybody.
And Piper was here for a little bit.
Yeah, against her will. As Solid Master Link says, smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Sorry, Josh. You sound better than that.
Smash that subscribe
There we
button.
go. Thanks for watching.
Shout out to my bros.
Shout out to our bros. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Oh my God, Fluffernutter. I'll talk about that in a second. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hell yeah. Well, the show is secured. That's good. We got a show. Fluffernutter says, I wish I had a croissant crust DiGiorno. Do you know how much I want to try that? And I'm not even a big DiGiorno fan. Why? It's croissant.
It's too much. The butter and the cheese, it's like just too much. Like grease becomes the predominant situation.
Maybe that's the case. If it's not good, maybe it's good and they've perfected it.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, Fluffernutter, I desperately want to try that. And I think about it pretty frequently. But also, I lost a lot of weight. I watch my calories every day. Like, the calories on that are insane.
Oh.
And I'm not saying go nuts, eat 7 of them if you want. I'm just talking about for me personally. This is not me saying don't eat it. It's too fatty. It's too many calories. I'm not saying that at all. Please do whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever makes you happy. It's your body, your choice. Just for me, I'm thinking like I got this many calories to spend in a day. I hate to blow so much on just one meal. But what I should do is get it and like split it up into 4 days or something. Like a couple slices every day is what I should do. So now, Fluffer Nutter, you're making me wish that I bought one and I had for this snowstorm. But we got other stuff. Yeah, MomBrain, you got stuff to talk about.
What?
You started watching.
Oh,
Are you
Fall
of the House of Usher? Yeah, I thought maybe you could share some thoughts and then we'll kill it.
You know, I watched the first few episodes.
1 second. 10 Division, the croissants from Costco. Oh my God, they're so good. They're so good. I love a croissant. Sorry, go ahead, MomBrain.
I saw the first few episodes and I was like, yeah, I'm really into it. And then last night I watched a few more and I was like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm still compelled to finish because I want to know what happens. So there's that. It's got that going for it. I don't hate it. I don't know. It just kind of feels like aimlessly wandering.
So we've had all kinds of responses to this because I don't like saying hate. I strongly disliked it. Liked it to I think really liked it. And you are in the middle somewhere. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to have like, you know, on which side of the middle I end up. I'm not gonna like love it, and I don't think I'm gonna hate it. So when I'm finished, you know, it'll be interesting to see which side of middle I fall on.
I started watching Sex Education because I had a hostage list of programs I wasn't watching because my sister for 2+ years wouldn't watch Neon Genesis Evangelion. As I believe I said on a podcast, she finally watched it as part of a Christmas gift. The other part was this Neon Genesis shirt she gave me, which is awesome. So I started watching the things that were on that list, and Sex Education is one of them. It's 5 seasons, so I'm going to watch. It's going to take a while. But 2 episodes in, and after the first episode, I texted her and I was like, Sex Education is the show you want me to watch, right? With Gillian Anderson. And she's like, yes, definitely. Because I watched the first episode and I was like, and she's like, stay with it. I'm going to watch it all the way through. I'll watch all of it. But after 2 episodes, I'm like, I don't know. But a show can evolve. The Simpsons wasn't good in the first season, or I didn't find it good. So it could grow on me and it could become better. See, Storbus Corbin right here says Sex Education is great.
Yeah.
And then they say the last season is very much skippable. Well, I do love Gillian Anderson, so she can
Yes. She can get
keep
it.
me motivated to watch the show. But yeah, it's not doing it for me yet. But it's only 2 episodes, so who knows where we're gonna go. Anastasia says I felt like it fell off heavy near the end, but it has a lot of good parts. Okay, there's other people vouching. I'll make sure when Nintendo's on the show, our show next time, I'll make sure she talks about it a bit. That's it, right? I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of this snowy day.
Gonna rot.
If you're in the storm like we are, stay safe. Hopefully you can stay at home, snuggle up, eat some nice warm
I'm
food.
gonna make those noodles I got yesterday.
What flavor were they?
I don't remember.
That's exciting. Oh, Highland Tom says I watched my first new TV show in years last week. Please like me. I don't even know if I know that. Is it good? Tell me if it's good. Yes or no? Because I'm always looking for new shows. Please like me. I just told MomBrain I saw an ad for a new show and I'm in because it has one of my main men on it.
And who's that?
I thought I wrote it down. Did I not? Oh, I did. Death and Other Details is the show. It's a detective mystery show coming out on Hulu January 16th. And the detective in the show is Mandy Patinkin. And I love me some Mandy Patinkin.
Do you love Mandy Patinkin?
I love Mandy Patinkin. If you haven't followed Mandy Patinkin, it's Mandy Patinkin's kid on TikTok running a TikTok account for his dad and his mom. And they are such a lovely couple.
Yeah.
Check those 2 out. PC says, oh my God, that's my birthday. The gift of Mandy. How much better could it get? Yes, 10th Division. I got to play AI The Somnium Files. I also got to play Danganronpa because I've never played any of those. So much to play. Not enough time. So much excitement. I have a zest for entertainment. I don't know. Books, movies, TV shows.
Ooh, Rosemary the Farmer
music.
says she and Freddie Fur are watching Fargo season 2.
I loved Fargo's early seasons,
Speaking
1,
of
2, and
main
3.
men, right?
I haven't watched 4. Main Men, Ted Danson, of
Yeah.
course. And I hear the newest season is excellent as well. I got to get back into that. Yeah, love that show. Hi, Barry Bob. So sorry that you're catching us as we're literally leaving, but here's a hello for you as we also say goodbye to you. Everybody that was here, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Play some games. Hang out with friends and family. Rest, relax. You deserve it. William George, I will DM you and we'll get you a game. We'll figure something out. Barry Bob, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But yes, everybody have a lovely weekend. I hope you're all doing great. And we will see you next week with a bigger crowd probably. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. What's going on?
Do it.
Whoa.